Hey everybody, David here, and video number 8 for the UCL, and I think it's 3 for the Cruciform. Right, so we're hopefully in the last stage of finishing off this building. In this episode, what I want to do is add all of this detail to the rest of the building on the outsides, including the one-story stuff that makes most of the building square. So the same as this stuff here. And I have definitely decided that I'm going to apply these windows to the owl building to make it less of an owl building and more like the entrance to the Cruciform. Also have to put in obviously extra walls, and believe it or not, this is actually more building. That's just the outline of it, so I've got to put that in and figure out how to connect them and stuff. And I will probably do all of the floors off camera because it's dull, and the same thing over and over again. And it's a lot. That's probably a day's work. I mean, a full day's work. And the final problem, which may or may not be its own video, but I'm hoping it'll be this episode, is the roofs, or roof singular, because they've got different sort of tower-esque shapes, and it's hard to get the shapes right. I picked copper because it's got stair blocks and blocks, and you can also get slabs. So it's easier to get a different shape. I like this one here, but this one I stopped because it just wasn't shaped right. So that's probably going to be a pain, and I'm going to do that last because it may take a bit more effort in each chunk of building. So sort of this chunk has 2 basic tower sort of roofs, and there's another one here, but it all lines up into sort of a peaked roof down the middle of the entire cross section. So it's going to be a bit, I suspect it's going to annoy the heck out of me until I find a solution. But from the street level, it's rather big and kind of impressive. I'm enjoying the effect of it, even if from the top of the steps the owl building is a bit crooked, but that's okay. Still looks awesome, and once all the doors and walls and ceilings are in and windows, we'll have another building to use as a possible backdrop for, firstly, story when I'm writing, and secondly, story for the short films. So more sets are better. Although I don't see myself writing stories at the university in the main books or in the shorts that are set at the same time as the main books of TSU. So wish me luck. It's probably going to be at least a week's worth equivalent, probably like 2 weeks actual, because I've got to actually have a life. So cue the music. my gosh. Isn't it so pretty? So pretty. I love this view. It's beautiful. I love shaders. And welcome back. As you can probably hear, I am sick. I have the lurg, as we say here. Lurgy. I've got COVID, but other than sounding terrible and some breathing problems, I'm actually fine. So we shall continue. Ha! It's given me some time to do quite a bit of work. Which goes on to the next thing, is that this project is huge. It's just huge. I knew it was going to be big because it's a pretty big building. But just putting in the walls, like the walls and the floors, like there's just so much. It's not very pretty, but yet, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 levels. And all the levels or almost all the levels are 5 meters tall, so it's flipping massive. Oops. Should probably fill in all the holes. Now, the first replay, you saw me putting in this middle building, and off camera I put this stairwell that goes the whole way up. I think it's this level. Yeah. And I put this in. It's actually ice. But on the Google Maps, there's this sort of shiny, vaguely green, vaguely blue roof. Now these trapdoors are on the other side as well. The ones on the bottom for this one are primarily for safety, because if you put a torch near this ice, it melts, and then you get water everywhere. And if your current main lighting is torches, the water brushes away all the lighting. So I primarily put this underneath because I didn't want it to flood everything. And the other this building is huge. Obviously the bottom level I haven't done anything. It's ugly as heck, and it actually connects pretty much to every section without, like, see, there's a hole there because different levels have different bottoms. But this section has another one with slime block, because it looks the same on the maps, but I gather one is like a sunroof, I don't know, a pool. I actually don't know what's in this building in real life. And this one looks more like it's sort of a greenhouse because it sticks out. I put these doors here because they need doors if you're going to use the space. But it just juts out of the building. It's the connective building. From the owl to the main X-shaped one. So I figured that might maybe be a greenhouse. I don't know. If I was making it, it would be a greenhouse. So I made the roof just slightly different. Also, they both kind of look cool. I like both of them, so I thought I'd use both of them. Anyway, I have, after much wall and floor making and window and modificating adding this extra bit in, and the stairwells and stuff, this was like 2 days work. The floor, just the floors, were I think 3. So it's full time. When I talk about days, I mean days. I mean, for me, a day is sort of 6 hours work. I can't actually sit that much longer without too much pain. So it's about 5 complete full days of work just to do the floors, the stairwell, and this connecting piece of building between the owl and the X. So I'm pretty sure the rest of it's going to be massive. So the second half of this video, because I just love this view, it's so pretty. Actually, let's see if I can do it this way. Not as cool. The next part of the video, I'm modifying the windows, because I don't like zigzaggy windows. They look terrible. So I've been playing with walls, with wall blocks and stuff, just to make them less zigzaggy, but still take up the same approximate space, so they look more complete. Normal zigzaggy ones, there's sort of gaps in the glass, the tops and the bottoms of the glass. So I've been trying to fix that and make it so that it seals better anyway. And I just went for I think 3 or 4 days straight to do the outside, as much of the outside as I could, while I was not well enough to be able to actually do a voice recording, which is why the next video is the next replay montage is quite long. It's 2 songs long, and my little figure, it goes very, very fast, because it was I worked it out. It's like 4 or 5 hours straight of replay mode in several days, not including all the stuff I did off camera. So this has been a huge project. I thought the quad was huge. This is ginormous, but it's quite satisfying as it's coming out of its ugly stage into being less ugly. I really do dislike buildings on a perfect diagonal. It's not a style I like to build. Anyway, cue the music again. And welcome back a second time. I'm just standing here looking at how huge this is, feeling quite satisfied. Looks nice from the front, although you kind of have to fly to really see how big it is. And it's not even half done. Rest of all of that to be done. I'm not sure. I still don't like buildings on a diagonal. I like, see how smooth and regular the angles and the lines are on the flat flat buildings. And these are cool. I mean, I like being able to add an extra detail with wall blocks and sort of make the zigzag smaller and less jaggedy, sticky outy, which is what annoys me. I have no idea how I'm going to do the roof. It's all of the bits of roof that are in the real one are really complicated, but I'll get to it eventually. I had a go at changing the windows, firstly to white glass, because I think overall, if we go down to the areas with walls about behind them, I think it just looks nicer than the blue. The original windows were just normal windows. Which don't have the same look. They're kind of janky, in my opinion. But I not only changed the colour, but I added... Oh, that's a bad... Actually, that's an example of not doing it. So this is the original way of doing it. See, it goes zigzag, zigzag. And when you're inside, the glass sticks into the inside. See the way it's got a hole at the bottom and at the top? And so instead of doing it like that, I have tried, obviously missed a bit, to consistently use wall blocks. Because see the way glass changes in relation to a wall block? A wall block is, you use it as a wall, like a fence. I tend to use it double high if I'm using it for security. But because it reacts the same way as glass, you can join it together. So instead, that's the same window. In fact, that's the same identical window. See this? Same proportion, same zigzaggy bit. And this has multiple angles to it. And this one is L-shaped. Or V-shaped, depending on how you're looking at it. So I've tried to do that with all the windows. I thought I had caught it, but I am sick, so I've probably missed a bunch. It looks like quite a lot of bunch. That's okay. I'll fix it later. So I just tried to make it less zigzaggy, so it takes up less space on the inside. Might even be able to show you how much space it takes up. Okay, see the way it sticks out here? It's the same window here. If you put in the wall, it's less zigzaggy, and see the way this bit sticks into the room and this bit doesn't. It fixes it. I don't really like using diorite, but it's the only white wall block, so until they get quartz wall blocks or concrete wall blocks, it's just going to have to do. See, there's the same window, same proportions, and that one looks much better. So that took a while, and I've obviously got a bit more to do. Must have forgotten this side while I was working. But as I said, I'm sick. My brain isn't necessarily working very well right now. I measured it. I listened to an entire Terra Pratchett audiobook to do the connecting. The first part was the connecting building here that linked the owl building, which is now less of an owl building, to the main cross building. And tidying all of that up, adding another layer to it at the top, and going all the way around, doing the bottom, that second half. Stairwell. Hate these stairwells. Whoever designed them were just masochists. All the way around to here. Now I've worked it out. It was approximately 8 hours total, and that is yeah, that was over about a week. The first half was sort of half a week before the second half, so I don't have exact numbers, but it's not even halfway, and it's massive. It's hard to get the right shapes on the diagonal. Like, this is supposed to be the same shape as this, which is supposed to be an arch. Just go up a little bit. An arch window, like a big half circle window, and that's supposed to be the big half circle window filled in with brick. And that's the best I could do. Is use the wall brick blocks to sort of give it a little extra shape. There are also bits in here, I think it's here. So there'll be a sort of a conical, a cone-like roof on this bit. And this bit here, just this bit, from here to here, is supposed to have its own little tiny roof. And then that bit has its own bigger roof. And I have no idea how that's going to work, but we'll have a go, see what happens. It is absolutely not to scale. I've tried to do the measurements, and it is actually smaller than the real thing. Same as the quad. The quad is about maybe 2/3 the size of the actual one. But this is my playing in Minecraft as a city scale. So actual scale is almost impossible to do. So there's probably going to be one or maybe two, depending on how irritating these next sections are, more videos. What I want to do, basically, my intention is to do the outsides, do these 3 sections of outsides in one episode, in the next episode, but that depends on, as I said, how irritating it is. And then that will give me a full episode to fight with the roof. There are a few details I need to put in, like not every end. See the tower ends. It's not all symmetrical. Like, the shape is symmetrical, but each, like this bit here is actually slightly different to this bit here. On this side, where there's a stairwell, an outside stairwell here, it's not. It's actually an extra sticky outy bit. which is slightly out to scale. It should have been one more wider, but then it'll get too close to this side and you won't see this window. And this one has another sticky outy bit, but it's smaller and it's just here. So each arm has different bits, and this bit, the middle, there's actually another middle bit that goes up and it looks different. So some of the extra details may take its own, like I might have to have a final episode after the roof of finishing everything off so it looks a bit more like the actual building, the real one. Or I might decide that I'm sick and tired of the damn building, and it can just be inaccurate. I'm definitely, like, I'm good with maths and 3D space, but imagining the 3D space in blocks in diagonal just does not compute. It's like trying to spell check something all in caps. I just can't. My brain won't do it. So I've had to do it manually, which is really hard to watch on a replay mod, like a montage. So I've tried to keep that out of the videos as much as possible, but it takes a lot to think and design. And unlike other builders, I don't have a design world where I design stuff. I design it here, where I'm going to have it. But I look forward to one day doing the insides, because a building filled with torches is it's a building that won't have monsters in it, but it's kind of ugly because you look through the window and there's torches. But I am actually finding this build quite satisfying. I also thought, just because it wasn't enough for it to have its own episode, I've actually been doing a little bit of work in here. I'm doing floors, which is kind of boring, but I tried to get a real life picture of what's through this door, and while it's not perfect, I spent a whole day on it and I feel quite happy with it. I don't know where the stairs and stuff are. I've just put like what I think, what I can see, what works, because the scale's too hard. And I made sure there was a stairwell to get up to the different levels, even though that's probably not what it looks like in real life. I imagine the top level doesn't have the roof, bare roof on it. But you're limited in Minecraft. There's only so much I can do. But I've got I'm planning out rooms. The next level is actually a bit more planned out. No, it's the one below. I've got rooms and there's hallways. See, these ones will be sun-kissed hallways with the windows here, and there'll be a garden in there. And a hallway there. Yeah. So I've got ideas, and it's working slowly. Working on what it might look like on the outside, and I've got to figure out where to put the lights. Because my general, I put lights in the floor because it's also the ceiling, but then the floor looks really dull. So I've been experimenting with carpets and stuff like that, and I think it was this one. Yeah. Putting a roof space with pretend, I always forget the name of the bar lights that just give me migraines. But there's lights under here. Although 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5x5 rooms in Minecraft are not very big, even though that's bigger than my lounge, my sitting room. But I just wanted to show off a little bit of what I've been doing off camera, Because while floors are boring, possible content isn't. Like rooms, and I really like this space. It feels kind of airy, and in the original, I think the circle's actually bigger than the original, but in the pictures I've seen of what is through this door, is this like a monument or a carving, like someone famous or something, like a statue in the middle, and then there's a gallery of books and other artwork and stuff like that around. So we'll see what happens slowly. I'm having a slow process for this, because I feel like I'm cheating if I'm not going to do anything true to life, but on the inside. But I don't. There aren't any tours of UCL with the detail that I can use to make the insides real, or close to real. But both buildings are coming along really well. I will probably finish the Cruciform first, though, because it needs less design time. Anyway, my cat has decided that he is it is his desire to be given love and food, so I shall obey. Until next time, ara ni tasa.